by violence and by cruelty. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. Look at those kids with their leather jackets and rubber truncheons, told they can roam the streets and beat up anyone they don't like, in particular young women who might be protesting. I mean, it's a free gift to the psychos. And, it absolutely underlines the subtitle of my book, Religion Poisons Everything. These people are told they have permission to behave like beasts in the name of God. Nothing they do can be wrong.
Yeah. Theocracy is dangerous.
You can possibly summon.
So this movement and what we're seeing in Iran, Christopher Hitchens, by the way, is our guest, folks, and his book, God is Not Great, is out in paperback right now. It seems to me, and tell me what you think, that there is a traction for democracy in Iran, a little bit of traction, which makes it all the more important that we solidify, that we continue to reinforce what we've done in Iraq, because there seems to be something happening. And I got into arguments with people today saying, what? I don't see any evidence of that. What do you mean? So why don't you direct your comments to those people who are clueless today, even after what they've seen?
Well, what's happening is, and it is in a way, I think I may say this in my column, it's like hypocrisy, it's the compliment that vice pays to virtue. A regime that pretends to have an election, that we shouldn't refer to as such, still runs one risk by rigging one, faking one, falsifying one. It does run the risk of stoking the demand for the real thing. And that's the mistake that the mullahs have made. And they've overplayed their hand. I mean, yesterday, the so-called supreme leader, the man who actually is the religious dictator of the country, the Ayatollah Khamenei, said that there was nothing to quarrel with in the results which were divinely ordained. It was the hand of God. Okay. Now, today, he's had to take that back. It's a stupid thing to have said if you're going to have to take it back, isn't it? If you claim to be speaking in God's name. Because the demonstrations are so big, and the outrage is so great, and the intervention by force on the other side was so blatant that they may have to review even the result that they foreordained.
So God made a mistake, which you're right. God can't possibly be great if he's...
This is a mistake that totalitarians always make. They claim to be able to do more than they can do. Saddam Hussein's last action before we got rid of him, trying to impress the world with the support he had in Iraq, was to hold a referendum on his rule. And this time, he'd always claimed before 98 to 99% of the vote, but this time he said it was 100, that it had been unanimous. I don't know if you remember, you can actually go look that up. I ran into people, even then, debating with them about whether to move into Iraq, and said, well, at least Saddam Hussein won an election. They actually
at 100%, yeah, at 100%.
And God, not just every single person in Iraq voted for him, using, very often it was claimed, their own blood to mark the ballot papers. I mean, hysterical megalomania, and that's the mullahs, I think, have been in power now so long, and they've become so corrupt, that they may not be able to be fully answerable all the time for their actions.
Rein it in,
yeah. Politely put it.
Yeah, I'm very grateful you joined us, Christopher. Christopher Hitchens has been our guest, and check his book out, please. God is Not Great: How Religion Poisons Everything, and it's available on paperback. And it's great to talk to you because I know you're studying this issue a great deal. Best of luck. Thanks.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be back. It's the world famous Phil Hendrie Show. Our number is 8.